All right, so in the last video, I talked about that you're perfect, and I cannot emphasize it enough. I'll say it again probably 3 or 4 times during this video. You are perfect. Now that doesn't mean that you're perfect in the state that you are, but it means at the core of who you really are, your authentic self, that is perfect. I was watching some Teal Swan videos the other day. Guilty as charged. I think she's fantastic, by the way, actually. She has a lot of really good information, especially when it comes to relationships. But she said that each one of us has an energetic signature, okay? I love that. I think that's great, right? The entire blueprint of the oak is in the seed, right? We each come into this world as this beautiful, perfect expression of God, frankly, right? Like, it is what it is, and if that term makes you uncomfortable, well, don't go reading the Bhagavad Gita, okay? But, you know, like we can think of it that way. We can think of it as source or energy or whatever you like, whatever term you like. And so in the last video, that's what I was said. Like, there's this timeline, this version of reality that suits you perfectly, and it's your, like, sort of, you know, your path or whatever, right? Like path, journey, all these words, right? All these like hyperbolic and exaggerative words. You know, you've got to heal your inner child. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, because what happens is we come in to this world, we have this perfect energetic signature, or this expression, this shape of a water droplet that's suspended in air. And so that's our soul. That's who we really are at a deep, deep level. That's who we really are as authentic beings. And I'm going to tell you the truth about authenticity here. Nobody really wants you to be authentic, but you need to know at a deep level your true authentic self, okay? And so we'll talk a little bit about that in just a second. But you come into the world and you are basically beat to death by social conditioning. You know, people are telling you who you are is not perfect. You go to school, your teachers tell you got to conform to this standard. You know, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. Mom and dad, like everyone around you is telling you how you don't need to be this expression of yourself. You gotta be this expression of yourself, right? And so that's what's happening to us, right? So we're basically covering up our authentic self and putting on a bunch of different masks and personas in order to really show ourselves as what we think the world needs us to be or thinks we should be, right? As opposed to being our authentic self. Now, when I say that nobody really wants you to be your authentic self, I mean that. That's actually true. You need to know who your authentic self is, but you also need to know how to express who you are in a way that, you know, frankly, doesn't rock the boat too much, okay? So self-awareness is a double-edged sword. The more you know yourself, the easier it is to sort of ruffle feathers and step on toes and things like that. And so there's a huge difference between authenticity and sincerity, okay? I can authentically say, oh, you need to heal your inner child? Okay, cool, right? And then just completely just clown on somebody. And that's pretty authentic for me because I think it's funny. But if I'm being sincere, I can be like, oh, so you want to, you know, work on some of the conditioned responses that you've picked up. Because each one of these moments where we fall off of our perfect timeline, these are times that basically we need to go back, revert to, and heal. You know, that's what this is all about. Because we are diverging from our authentic self, our real true nature of who we are, that energetic signature. And so basically what we want to do, obviously, is reconnect to that and peel these layers off, right? And so understanding that the difference between authenticity and sincerity is very, very real. You need to be sincere with other people, but not necessarily always authentic. It's okay to not put your entire self out there all the time, right? Like, because sometimes, honestly, if you do that, you're going to alienate people and maybe even yourself. Like, know your audience is something that they say in stand-up comedy, right? So if like I walk into a Christian audience, let's say, and start telling, you know, sex jokes, then it's not going to go over well. And that might be authentic, you know. But I don't think that's really that much of a virtue in that sense, you know? It can be, but it's usually not always, right? So, you know, you gotta know, you gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them, right? Like, we gotta know how to sort of engage in these situations, and really the line between being your most authentic self and how to engage. And so ultimately, it's gonna come down to really connecting to your perfect purpose. That's really the expression of you that is that energetic signature. You're here for a reason, you're not here for no reason, and you're not here to make it up, because your real identity is encapsulated in this energetic signature, right? You'd be like my friend Jessica McElveen, who I just did a podcast with. She is on a mission. She knows exactly why she's here. She's going forward with intent, okay? And so this is what's going to really help your journey. And if you're more curious about intent, check out my video that's like the truth about intention or something like that. There's a lot of interesting information in there. See, intention doesn't work against us. Intention is very pure, and so it doesn't create balancing forces. It doesn't create like negative karma that works against us. It's very pure in what it is. So there's no resistance there. When we're truly, on purpose and we're moving forward, we're not worried about all the bad things that can happen, or this thing, then that thing, right? Like, go manifest a parking spot, bro, and let's see how that goes. Versus be on purpose and do the thing that you came here to do, and see how that goes. Because the universe will absolutely come to your aid, especially when you become courageous enough to do that. And then knowing the difference between authenticity and sincerity will keep you from fighting against things that will only fight against you if you fight against them. If you pick a fight, you're going to get a fight back. So, for instance, Jessica, very on purpose, on a mission, right? And so as long as she doesn't bump up against something and start beating up, this idea or that idea and fight against it, then she will have no resistance toward doing her purpose. She will continue to do it with a firm, strong intention, and thus no wake that will mess with her, or like balance forces being drummed up to smash against her, right? It's very determined, it's very sincere, it's very authentic as well. But again, knowing, how to, when and where to really showcase that. I was in a room, I've been in Clubhouse a lot. If you're on that app, please give me a follow. We do a room every Saturday on there. But I was in there and I was listening to, I believe it was Tai Lopez one afternoon. And I swear to God, I thought this guy was going to get canceled in real time. I just couldn't believe it. He started talking about some stuff that was very controversial. And then he was able to really tiptoe the line and win the crowd back from what he initially was talking about. And I was really impressed. And, obviously you don't make millions or whatever, however much money he's worth of dollars by not knowing how to communicate to people. It's very, very important. But it was a great lesson. And I think he even said, nobody really wants you to be authentic. Everyone's saying, oh, be authentic. Just be authentic and all this stuff. No. You'll be a bull in a china shop if you're too authentic, and people won't want to work with you. You need to figure out how to manage those relationships and present yourself in a way that's sincere and open up and layer down toward and getting more and more authentic as you begin to work with caution and vet the people around you that you may or may not want to work with, right? Because if you show up and then somebody just immediately, wants to work with you, and then they just jump in with you, it may not work out all that well in my experience, right? Like, I try and at least get to know people more and more. This is something that I've learned over time, more and more, before I really incorporate them into something. And I don't know, it's trying sometimes and frustrating as well, but it is one of those things. If it's real, then it will happen more naturally, right? You won't have to push that so much. You won't have to jump in. It will just naturally begin to develop in a way that is really organic. So, You are perfect. Don't forget that. You really are. You are perfect. That bull in the china shop, that is perfect. And sometimes you need to know how to bridle yourself, and you want to learn to heal these traumas. You want to learn to heal these traumas. There are ways to heal these traumas. I know practitioners, that can work with you. Get on my email list. Join the Facebook group. I'm going to be more active there. Coming very soon. I'm going to take a little bit of a break because I've been working really hard on this. And I've been learning a lot of new stuff too, so I'm also going to be presenting some new ideas as well. I'm going to relaunch my program, so if you're interested in that, you can sign up. There's a link in the description to get coached, right? It's been a really powerful and amazing journey, and it's been an adventure and a journey, and it's been transformative, and it's been transcendental, and all of these big words, and practically it's been really helpful for me. You can even notice some differences in me, right? Like I'm becoming a little bit more mindful of some physical things and a little bit more active physically. So, and that's a good thing, right? It doesn't change who I am, my real identity that's connected, but it does help me with my expression in the world, whether that be authentic or not, right? Like the authentic version of myself doesn't really like laying on the couch and eating ice cream at 3 p.m. It turns out, but every once in a while, you go through some difficult times, and that no one's immune. Anyway, this is you. You are perfect. Remember, there's a difference between authenticity and sincerity. And if you're interested in working with me, I'd love to have a chat and see if it's something that is a good fit. So again, link in the description. Want to give a shout out to my friends at Content Safe. Thank you, Content Safe. You're doing the Lord's work, truly. And if you know anybody, or if you're interested in yourself having your content distributed for you, I highly recommend going to the contentsafe.co website and scheduling a consultation. They can tell you all about it. So fantastic, lovely, wonderful. Thank you so much for watching this video. And I hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you next time.